Welcome to the show. My name is Jeramy Poole. I'm the host of The Moment on Real Estate Social, where we explore and celebrate the necessary transformational process one must go through to achieve a high level of success within the real estate industry. Today, folks, we have a very special guest. His name is Shawn Maxey. He's with Keller Williams, and he is the #1 producing real estate agent in Pierce County, Washington, which just so happens to be one of the hottest and fastest growing real estate markets in the entire country. Shawn, welcome to the show, my man.
Thank you.
Absolutely. So, Shawn, as you know, the show is called The Moment. So, share with us what you would consider your moment that allowed you to go from, let's say, where you were to where you are today, #1 in Pierce County.
Well, I would say that all the events leading up to what I wanted to do in the business is I chose a niche, excuse me, a niche market, which happened to be new construction. And I got around some people that I felt were leaders in that industry. And I didn't really ask them what they did. They didn't like to share a lot of information. But I just watched them and modeled them.
Right.
And I went out and I worked hard. And I tried to learn what they did. And then one day, I felt like I was ready.
Okay.
So, I feel like to be successful, you have to believe in yourself.
Absolutely.
And you have to get good at something. So you have to hone a skill, master a skill, and then you have to, and then you'll gain the confidence.
Absolutely.
Right. And then once you have confidence, then anything is possible. So I felt like I was at that point. So if I have to put my finger on one thing, it would be the time when I worked close by with Jerry Mahan, and he was a leading new construction guy for years and years.
Okay.
And I was thankful for the opportunities that I had with him and the opportunities that he gave me. And then I watched and I thought, I can do this. I can do what he does.
Right, right.
He didn't think so, but I love him for that. So I went to him and said, I want to be your partner. I want to do your listings with you. I want half of what you do.
Wow. So on that's very interesting.
Upwell Mortgage was created based on a question. And the question was, can mortgage deliver more to the real estate community and to home buyers and homeowners? The answer we came up with, yes. For the past decade, the options have been either online lower rates or local expert service with higher rates. At Upwell, what we found is that you can have both lower rates and local expert service. If you're looking for something more in your next real estate transaction, click or call. We're here to help.
Interesting. So at what point or how long were you guys working together before you decided that you want half?
It was a couple of years.
Okay, all right.
It was a couple of years, because a lot of people say to me, like, I want to do new construction, or I want to do that, and I want to get a builder.
Right.
And I said, okay, great. Why is he going to hire you?
Sure.
Why does he want to work with you?
Right.
Have you learned how to do the new construction? Have you learned to have staff people sit sites, scheduling, marketing, doing the hard work?
Gotcha.
On the ground level. You haven't learned that.
Yeah.
Why would they use you, right? So at least I understood that from the beginning. So I just wanted the opportunity with some of the guys that I looked up to, and was able to work around them, and I just tried to learn what they were doing. But then when I felt like I was confident that I could do what they do,
yeah,
I wanted to be his partner.
That's great. That's right? Phenomenal.
And he said, no way. He said, why would I do that? I already got these listings. I'm already doing that.
Yeah.
And I thought, well, you've already reached your goals.
Yeah.
You know, I think that I want it bad enough that with your resources and experience and knowledge and my willingness to go out there and pound it.
Sure, get out there and hustle. You can take it to that next level.
Yeah. So I really wanted to do that. But he said no. And said, just stick with me for 7 more years. I'm going to retire.
Yeah.
And then, you know, maybe I can turn my business over to you at that time. But the fear for me was, what if there's no business?
Sure.
You know, what if you've achieved everything that you wanted to achieve? So I said, I have to do this. And it was probably wasn't the best time to do it because there was the home buyer's tax credit. I don't know if you remember that.
I do.
And there was like 20 houses on the ground that were being constructed in this one community that I was working. And so I was going to leave money on the table. Mm-hmm. But I just felt that I had to try.
That's it right there, I feel like. It's just knowing who you are, knowing what your skill sets are, and finding that place within you that says, you know what, I might fail, but it's worth it. I'm just going to go out there and do it. Mm-hmm. And that's beautiful. There was a story that you shared with me on the phone during our pre-interview. You were mentioning how your first real ambitious goal was to own a Domino's franchise. Kind of talk to us a little bit about that, because I think that's a really cool story.
Okay, cool. That kind of molded me a little bit.
Yeah.
You know, I was going to college, and I was managing a Domino's Pizza, and the owner would show up at the end of the day, drink a half rack of beer in his car, and watch everybody making money.
Right.
And I was like, dang. And he had a really nice house, and he owned a few franchises, and I was like, I want to be that guy.
Sure.
And so, not being a real risk taker, I thought, you know, how do businesses fail? They fail because they're undercapitalized,
right,
and they try to leverage too quickly. And so I decided that I'm going to save up the money and start a Domino's franchise. Right. And so
this was at a pretty young age.
Yeah.
Most people aren't thinking about buying a franchise. And so what age were you?
I was 19.
19 years old. This guy's talking about and preparing for buying and running a franchise at 19 years old. Phenomenal.
Yeah. So then I was like, well, I got to get a day job. I went to work for the state of Washington, and I worked there for 11 years. And in the evening time, I was working at Domino's, and so I was doing 2 jobs, but I had a goal.
Yeah.
Right, and I didn't know how long it was going to take me, but every day that I didn't do something was another day that took me away from my goal.
There you go.
So I had all my friends were like, hey, do you want to go out? Do you want to do this? I said, I got to work tonight.
Yeah.
And they said, well, you don't have to work. You have enough money. You have this. And I said, yeah, but every time I say yes, it takes me another day longer.
That's it.
And so
wow.
I saved up enough money to buy a franchise.
At what age at this point?
And it was about 27. It took me about 8 years.
Okay.
And part of it was buying real estate.
Sure.
You know, so I would take my money and invest in a real estate.
And you're saying that you bought your first house, what, at 21?
22.
22.
Yeah. And at that time, interest rates were 10%.
Wow.
And so my idea was, hey, I'll just, instead of making extra money and putting it in the bank, I took the extra money and put it towards the principal in my home.
Sure.
Because I figured I'm saving 10% on my money.
Right.
And so I started investing in real estate that way, and not really realizing I would ever be a real estate agent. And so what happened was I saved up enough money to do it, and then Domino's at that time required you to be a manager for a year and be successful at it, and then you could get a franchise.
Right.
And I passed all my certifications. I started searching around for Domino's. I worked as a general manager again for a year, and it just seemed like kids were different than when I was managing when I was younger. It was that time when the mortgage industry was great, houses were going up, people were borrowing money out of their houses, and the kids didn't need to work. The parents just gave them everything they wanted.
Right.
And it was tough. And then I decided this isn't what I want to do. After all of that, 10 years of saving money, I'm going to buy a Domino's. Wow, what am I going to do now?
Yeah.
And so I started looking at this builder that was building homes under market value. And it was basically just a box.
Sure.
And then you added upgrades to it. And I had a really good friend that knew how to do everything. And so I watched this one community, not a real estate agent, and then I watched these investors buy these homes, and they'd take 9 months to build them, and then they would resell them afterwards. And I thought, I ran the numbers. They were selling houses $166,000 at that time. I won't forget it. And then this guy was reselling them for $239,000.
Wow.
And I thought, darn, I should have did it.
Yeah.
But I was scared.
Yeah.
And so the next time around, I decided, I've got this money. What am I going to do with it?
Sure.
I decided to purchase 2 homes, bare minimum. I went to Home Depot and bought lights. I put the yards in.
Wow.
You know, I built a fence. Everything that I could do at my cost, and the builders would charge the other customers their markups.
Right.
And then I resold those. But when I resold those, I pulled these flyers. I was always interested in real estate.
Yeah.
So I was pulling these flyers. I pulled this flyer one time. On the back of it, it said, a flat fee listing program. And what we'll do is we'll list your house, we'll put it on the multiple listing service, we'll put a lockbox on, take photos, and give you your first 25 flyers. And then you're on your own.
Wow.
And then if you need us, then we'll give you a 1%. And so I'm going to do that. So I get these houses ready. They go to 1%, the flat fee listing program. I do everything. I do my own open houses. I was scared.
Yeah.
Basically. It was like, I got to make this work.
Yeah.
And then when I was done, the broker that ran that flat fee listing program brings me a disc, a real estate course disc, and said, you need to take your real estate exam. You need to be a real estate agent. Yeah. And I said, me? Be a real estate agent? No, I wouldn't be good at that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think I could do that. He goes, you just did it. You just did it on these 2 houses. You sold them. You didn't even need me.
Yeah.
And he goes, we set that structure up because everybody comes to us and wants the 1%.
Yeah.
And then we handle it all for them. But you did it all yourself. I said, yeah, but I'm not smart like all these real estate agents.
Sure.
And so I was skeptical, and my friend, knew I was always interested in real estate. And sometimes we need somebody to believe in us too.
Absolutely.
Right. So we have to believe in ourselves, but we have to have somebody that believes in us. And he did. And I was the skeptic, and I was like, nah, I don't think I could do this business. So that helped shape me too, because when I'm around other agents, I like helping them and letting them know they can do this.
Yeah.
But they've got to work hard and things. But so I was like, well, I don't have time to take that class, and I don't even have a home computer at that time.
Oh,
I didn't
wow.
even have a home computer, and so I left the disc in his truck. And because we would take his truck and work on these houses. I didn't own one. And then I get home from work the next day, and the disc was taped to a computer on my back porch. And he told me to take the damn class.
So then you had to.
Yeah. So then I was like, okay, I'll do this.
That's cool.
And that's really how I got into real estate.
That's phenomenal.
And so I did. It was nothing was planned, you know. And but the things that I learned about owning property and owning real estate and doing some of these things, I was able to, and that's probably why I liked new construction too, or I got around new construction, because that's the first thing that I did. And yeah, so
awesome.
That's pretty much
Great story. So you've been the #1 agent for how many years now? 4 years?
I'm not sure.
You're counting.
No,
not counting.
Maybe 4 or 5 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
What sort of daily habits, thought patterns would you contribute your success to? Because you're obviously doing something right and you have a system. I guess, how do you think, how do you operate? What are your habits that you would contribute your ability to continuously, day in and day out, produce those kinds of numbers?
Well, I just try to finish the things that I do. I think for me it's the people that I have with me. I love the people that I'm around. I love that I get to work with people that I like, and I really value that people, you know, they want to work with me. It's an honor, right? Yeah. And so you take what you do seriously. I don't feel like I do anything special. I just, you know, you hear agents say, "Why don't let them waste your time," and you have clients call you and say, "Well, I don't want to waste your time." Right. No, I want you to waste my time. Yeah. This is what I do. Right. And but I try to focus on tasks that end in a result, and you know, I surround myself around people that can help me. Mm-hmm. I didn't do anything on my own, so.
Do you read a lot?
I've never read a real estate book.
Never read a real estate book. What about
I started
business
to
books,
read,
sales books? Nothing?
No. And that's the hard part, is people say, "What do you do? How'd you do this? And how did you get to that?" Yeah. I just work hard. Okay. I work hard every day. I love to go. I mean, what opportunity we have where we get to choose the people that we work around, and the people that work with us, they get to choose to work with us. That's it. So I never feel like, oh gosh, I have to go to work today.
So
I can't wait to go.
No coaches.
No.
No, you just show up in the morning and just make it happen.
Yeah,
I love it.
It's terrible. Yeah.
All right, right on.
It's but you know, my days used to start like this. I would go to, you know, I was a one man show. Yeah. In the beginning, and it was just trying to produce. Mm-hmm. So I would get up in the morning and I would make phone calls. Okay. I would try to talk to everybody that I had met. Sure. I would do an open house every day. Right. Okay. I had to make it work. I had 4 kids. Yeah. Wow. And then I would go to a site. I would meet people. Mm-hmm. I would listen to the people, because agents sometimes talk too much. Yeah. And it's like, listen to what
they're actually saying. Yeah.
Yeah. Try to
understand what they want.
Understand what they're doing. Yeah. And so I would meet with people and I would connect with them. Mm-hmm. Right. And then I had great mortgage people that I work with, thank God, because they taught me the business. Yeah. Title and escrow people. And so when people came in, I knew the people to connect them with. Sure. Sure. And I would sit with mortgage people and say, can I sit with you when you talk to the people? Because I want to hear what you say.
Yeah, I can kind of understand that side of it.
Yeah.
That's smart.
And so I would go to a site and I'd meet people, and then I would schedule appointments to show them things afterwards when I was off. So sometimes I would be showing between 8 and noon houses, and then I would be from the site from noon to 5, and then I'd be showing properties, and then I'd go home and grab dinner or something with the family, and then I'd be back at the office, and then I'd be emailing everybody anything that I think they might be interested in.
Perfect.
And so it was hard work.
Yeah, just day in and day out grinding.
Yeah.
So Shawn, you're very successful. What are you afraid of in business? Is there anything that scares you, that sort of drives you, or prevents you from taking things to the next level? Maybe you want to be the number one in the state of Washington.
I think a lot of things scare me,
Yeah.
you know, and I don't know if there's one thing that scares me, but when you don't understand something, when there's something that you don't know how it all works, it's scary, you know.
Right.
But the one thing is I'm not afraid to do is try.
That's it.
You know.
I think that's the big thing from pre-interviewing a lot of people, meeting with a lot of people, and then having the opportunity to interview some of the top performers in our market. It's not always necessarily the most educated or the most skilled. It's the ones who have the confidence to step up to that plate and swing for the fences and just go for it. And being okay if you do fail, if you do make mistakes. It's just trying stuff, trial and error. So,
Yeah.
good stuff.
Yeah, because you're always going to be afraid of the things that you don't know or the things you don't understand. You're always going to be afraid.
Absolutely.
And you won't gain that confidence.
And you won't gain that confidence. And the thing that you're scared of, typically, once you do it, isn't actually scary. It actually was quite easy.
Yeah.
Okay, that brings me to my next question. What was the hardest decision that you've ever had to make as a realtor or in the business of real estate? The hardest decision?
I would say that I got to a point where my office was growing, and I never know exactly how we're going to grow or what we're going to need to do or what we're going to need to replace. It's always been create the problem and then fix it.
Yeah.
And so the hardest thing I ever had to do is my first assistant that helped me so much in my growth. That I cared dearly for, and she's like a mother to me in a way, you know.
Yeah.
Complete trust and confidence to have to let her go, because the team couldn't grow. When I decided to move towards the team, we couldn't grow because sometimes there's people that just clash, and no reason to let her go except for we couldn't move forward.
Yeah.
Because she got used to things being her way, and it had to be this way. But I needed 3 people's efforts,
not just
to
one,
take us to the next level. But there was a drag there.
Gotcha.
And these people stopped innovating, which I needed these other people to innovate and help me, because I'm good at certain things, but there's a lot of things I'm not good at.
So Shawn, I've seriously received more requests to have your interview than anybody else. I think one reason is that you're very different in the respect that you don't really have a big presence in social media. You don't post a lot on Facebook. You don't do a lot of Instagram pictures. And first question would be, why not? It seems like that's a really popular and arguably a very smart business move to sort of put yourself out there.
I haven't thought about it too much, and I think that in a way I just see myself as a regular guy.
Yeah.
You know, an average person. I'm no better or no worse than anybody that I get to work with. I do like privacy.
Sure.
I'm not really outgoing.
Yeah.
I can work, I can do my job, I can help people, but I'm not a flashy person. I don't know. I don't like the spotlight on me.
Yeah. Okay.
Usually.
Well, that's good. That's the honest answer, and I like that.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you, Shawn, for your
Yeah.
time. That's the end of the show. We'll see you again next week.
All right. Cool.
Bye.